Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Thursday show. So, today I just wanted to discuss something that came up this week. I had a discussion with someone who was having some issues with a little bit of grieving and thought about I've had a lot of thought about this over the course of a long period of time, learning how to deal with grieving myself over the years from my son's death, mostly, my father's as well. But I came up with some important topics that can help. And here, let me turn that on. It looks like the mic's a little hot. All right. But I wanted to talk about letting out the feelings. Don't hold them in. Because when you do that, that's when you go to that dark place we really all don't want to be at. Hi, Ian. How you doing? Lethal's here. I saw Vaping Jedi here a little bit ago. Hi, guys. It's great to see you here. But holding in feelings it's like you got to retrain yourself because society has taught us, and our parents typically, in most cases, and family. Hey, Derek, have taught us to hold our feelings in, especially guys. I know it's not all guys, women as well hold their feelings in, but with men, you're taught to to show your feelings, and that's that kind of like the worst thing you can do as far as your mental state. You need to let out your feelings. Give yourself a good cry every once in a while. Sometimes you can even you can control it to the point where it's when you want it to be. Like if you don't want to cry in front of certain people or at certain areas, you can teach yourself not to do that, but still be able to grieve and let loose all those feelings that are bothering you inside. So that's what we're going to discuss a little bit of tonight. Just realized it wasn't on live chat. For one thing, and I gotta give a shout out to someone that had mentioned this. Vaping Irish mentioned something that was important as well. If you can, while you're training yourself, train yourself to do it in a place that's not going to be like a common area of your home or something. If you can, like in my case, I typically go to the graveyard when I want to do this, when I'm trying to let out some of that built up grieving. That way there, it's not a place that you're constantly at because it can bring you sadness in the middle of a good day at random. But letting out a good cry, listening to some music that reminds you of them, looking through an old photo album if you bring it with you, or maybe some pictures, even media or whatever on your phone, some video. But try to focus on the happy memories. You can keep the other media of whatever, be it actual photo albums, everything. Make a separate one with the more serious notes, the ones that bring you down a little bit. Put them separate because every once in a while, like especially on anniversaries, you might want to actually go there and let that out. Completely let yourself go for a little while. But you want to do it in a way that doesn't overwhelm you or you're prepared for it. So that's why you keep those separate and focus on positives when you're trying to grieve. So that's what that's about today, letting out those tears in the sunshine and, breaking through as you start to feel a little better is kind of like a rainbow. After the rain or during the rain, there's still a little bit of brightness in the air. You can bring yourself out of it versus just being stuck in a rain cloud. And hey, Hattie Tooney, love you, brother. And while we do this, it's a way to teach yourself you got to retrain yourself to let it out, but you can do it in a way that it doesn't affect you. Like, you definitely don't want to try and let it out at work if possible in most cases, or maybe around certain family members or around family members at all. And if you can find a safe place to let out the feelings and have it for a backup, even if you're doing it alone, that's one of the better situations. Animals are being allowed tonight. I apologize. But when you do that and you're bringing it out with people that aren't directly connected to the grieving process, is actually one of the better situations, or a wide amount of them, because the more you lay on somebody, especially if they're a part of the grieving process, it can create their grieving process and make theirs worse as well, because in most cases they're going to hold theirs in to try and be there for you, just as you would probably do the same for them. And you can do that to a degree, but it's not exactly the best optimal way to lift yourself up. But try to focus on, like I said, positive memories. If you, like with my son, the day he was born, He had a low body temp when he was first born, and I held him on my chest for the first like 12 hours, other than when he was being fed under a blanket. And that to me was actually one of my favorite memories. So it's one of the ones I really kind of focus on, rather than toward the end when he had the brain damage and we had all those issues and he was in and out of the hospital, surgery after surgery. I try not to focus on those moments, because those moments there, although they are a part of what I dealt with, those aren't the moments I want to remember him by. I want to remember him by the moments I loved and cherished with him. I have a few of them, but these are the things we need to focus on in this situation. It'll bring you out of a depression a little bit better. They consider it like a scar that'll never heal. It's a wound that'll never fully heal if it's someone you really care about. But you can lessen the pain and keep it from festering. And the easiest way to do that is just learning how to cope in a more positive way. Yeah. Oh, doctor appointment. Oh, Greek takeout. Nice, Addie. And that's another thing. Foods. Thank you, Addie. Foods can be another thing. There might be a specific food. Say it is a parent, aunt, uncle, or grandmother, or grandfather, or whatever. Maybe they're a griller. If it's a grandfather, it could be someone who did a lot of grilling. Certain foods, you can celebrate them, especially when it's like an anniversary of their death, or more importantly, like their birthday. You can celebrate it that day by having that food. Let it out. Enjoy it. But remember, certain smells tend to remind me of it. Certain foods, cooking, or just, you walk through the grocery store and those smells hit you just right. I found that actually there are some liquids that actually remind me of my grandmother. It's a strange thing, but you associate smells a lot with people you love. A lot of people do it with perfumes, with people they have. That perfumes are cologne. And what you do is maybe keep a bottle of that around for those days when you're really ready, and just kind of let yourself smell it and let yourself fall into it. But try to think, like I said, better if you have an anchor, some type of anchor to keep yourself on the positive note. And this is being brought up tonight, not to bring people down, but there has been a little bit of loss lately in the community. But specifically this week, I did wind up talking to someone about this, and I felt it was a topic that's necessary to talk about, because there's different ways to grieve, and this is probably, from my experience and from what I've seen with other counselors and stuff in the past, this is one of the more positive ways to get through a grieving process. There is no guideline. It might not work for everyone, but it is a way to potentially give you your best options to not grieve and become obsessed with all the negatives in the tip top of your mind. And this is what's talked about the other day, bringing up like the last day or the last days, especially if it's like say cancer. We all know what that's like here. Most everybody in chat here, I know, at least is connected some way. They know someone who's had it. It's a horrible thing at the end, but there can be good moments in it. But try to focus on either the positive moments or prior to. Those moments there, those are the ones you keep for those days when you just want to let out a good cry, but you're going to be in a dark place. Yeah, always made me, see, yeast bread, that type of thing does it. Sometimes the smell of, like, my grandmother always used to cook bullhead and catfish. Bullhead is a small catfish. And the smell of that cooking, if it's being pan fried, instantly brings me back to spending time with her. So letting yourself cry in a controlled environment with people that around you that you can. That's one of the reasons why the Discord is there. It's that community where you can put it on other people. Think of it like crowd surfing. And if anyone wants to join and explain anything that works for them, because this is only one way to deal with things. Or maybe that this has worked for you would be a great thing to hear. But with the Discord there, it's like crowd surfing. You know, if you jump into a crowd and you have one person, say that your significant other or family member, that's holding you up, you're going to probably fall. They're going to have a heck of a time holding you up. It's going to be really difficult for them if they can manage it all. Whereas if you have a community of people helping you and supporting you, you're as light as a feather and you can float around and just no worries in the world. That's kind of the way it works with, you know, any type of negative situation, anxiety, depression, grieving, is you bring the more people you have to support you, the less burden it is on each of them. And if you think about it, and I know this is something that's went through my head, no one wants to be a burden on other people. That's another thing in society. But sometimes you need to lean on people, even if you don't feel like it. You know, you'd feel guilty for it. That's why a group of people is better, because realize that you're not really leaning on just one person. You're not expecting one person to hold you up. You're doing a little bit from a lot of people. And by doing that, it lessens their strain and it helps you grow in the process. And you can, and in return, don't feel guilty. Hold it upon yourself to do the same for someone else when they need it. If you can do that, the world becomes a better place. One person at a time as it grows and gets better. Hi, Tabitha. Yeah, there's and you guys know how much I care about this family. Everyone that's here, anytime the show's on, when the show's off, if I'm in a chat, I know that, I mean, we all can aspire to be more like Addie. I'm still sorry, but I'm always going to shout that out because there's not a more supportive person that I know. He's there for as many people as he possibly can all the time. I mean, he takes a day off to go spend with his wife and family, and everybody's like, oh, where'd Addie go? And they worry about him. You know, that's how much he matters to all of us. Wow, that sounds really good, Addie. So, has anyone went through grieving processes and had problems letting go, or get stuck with the memories, only the negative memories in your head? That's the other thing. If you focus on those positive memories, they become more clear. And try to remember details, specific details. Like in this person's case, they were remembering a wedding. Okay. Wedding when the family was all together and they were really happy and everybody was happy. And it's like, that wedding is a great place, but don't just remember the wedding. Try to remember, like, maybe the place setting, something special, or the party favors, or the toast that was given, or jokes that were made, or maybe the dance, the dresses that the women were wearing, whatever people were wearing that day, different jewelry. The more detail, the better. Because not only are you remembering that day vividly in your mind and letting the others fade to the background, but you're also doing a form of meditation and distracting yourself from what's pulling you back and what's holding you down. It's a distraction, but it's also a positive memory that brings forth the most beneficial situation out of the negative. Yes, you might cry. Let it happen. Don't hold it in. Like I said, if you can do this in a place and away from, you know, certain people that you don't want to cry in front of, do it in a, like at the graveyard for me, or wherever is comfortable for you. Maybe if they have a room in your home, you know, maybe go in there but make sure you try to go in there only when necessary or when you're grieving, or you feel like you need to get that grief out. Because if you go in there on a constant basis, that's not a good area. Like someone's Vaping Irish mentioned kitchen, going in the kitchen and being around all the things there when he thought of his family that he lost, and, you know, going in there and feeling that every time. And it's not a good place. If you're going to be in the kitchen a lot, you really don't want it to be a place of sadness, because then you start crying at will, and, you know, that's not always. You want to be able to do it when you're ready. That way there you can prepare yourself for it mentally, but don't avoid it. Last thing you can do is avoid it. And there are truckers GoFundMe still going on. See, that's another thing that happened recently. Losing Trucker to cancer. You know, there's, and here's the best part with Mike. You can go back, even if you didn't know him, you can still get to know him through all of his YouTube videos, through all his social media. You can still get to know what a kind person he was. You can also go through there and pick some of your best memories of him. If you were someone who really knew Mike well, you can take some of those videos that really, really mattered to you. Maybe when you were on with him, or he made a joke or something that made you really laugh, and put them in a folder for those days when you want to cry, but you want to cry and grieve in a good way. Or maybe you just want to remember him and honor him. A good day for that is like an anniversary. And this is where it's all about the way you do it. It's not what you're doing. Grieving is going to happen whether you want it to happen or not. You can do it inside and let it build up, and eventually you're just going to boil over or just collapse from the weight of it. Or you can do it in a positive way by focusing on the positive memories, and you can bring yourself to the point where it doesn't get rid of the weight of it, but it makes it manageable. And in the end, you become more relaxed, less likely to suffer severe depression and anxiety. However, when you first start, the first few times, it's not going to be easy, especially if you have to go through and separate those good memories from the bad, say it be photo album or whatever. When you're separating that the first time or first few times, you know, because the first time through, you might not even get all the ones that are making you feel bad because you got overwhelmed by others. So it gets better over time. Yeah, Michelle Lynn, Winter Doldrums. If you didn't catch her Winter Doldrums, check out her Facebook page. I believe you can still view it. If you're not on our friends, then check out her YouTube channel as well. Pretty sure the episode from this year's Doldrums with her on it is on there. That was just heartfelt, amazing. It was a poem originally written for her son, who she lost. You know, that's the ultimate goal, is to prevent things from suicide and stuff like that from happening. And the best way to do that, and if you can do that in any way, always try to focus on the positives if there's an option. We can always focus on negatives because they happen and they're right in your face and you can't avoid them. But we tend to forget the positives because we get so overwhelmed by these negatives that they're there. But we don't look at them. We don't focus on them. We don't give them enough credit or enough time. Yeah, and like one of the positives here tonight, chat. Hey, Forrest. Yeah. The people in this chat right now, and the people that watch on replay, and the people in the Discord, there's nothing but positive there. You're a bunch of people with really big hearts and sweet, kind personalities, and that community needs to grow. And the one way you can do that is if someone's going through something like this, and you know they're going through the grieving process, suggest this to them. Maybe it could be a family member if they're dealing with it as well. You know, if you get a chance to talk to them, suggest trying to think more of the positives and focusing on them. It won't help everyone. And a lot of people are stubborn and don't want to listen. But if you don't try, things don't happen. You know, often you wind up it becomes conflict in situations like this because they're both boiling over in family situations, or maybe that person you just leaned on so much and it becomes too much of a burden and it separates you guys in some way, shape, or form, be it relationship or family. You know, loss can actually create so many negatives that if you focus on it a different way, it's all about perspective. Most mental health awareness truly can be changed through a perspective change. Looking at it through a different lens, thinking of it in a different way. If you feel something's really negative, try to think if there's anything positive or at least neutral about it. Maybe someone says something that upsets you. It's a trigger for you. Try to take a step back instead of reacting and think, bike going by, and think, oh, it was a truck. And think about the fact that maybe they did it for a different reason than what you're reacting to. You'll find that 90% of the time, that's actually true. 90% of the time, people aren't trying to trigger you. They aren't trying to upset you. They're not trying to say the thing that hurts you. And also, if you notice that, but it's a little late and you've already reacted, please swallow your pride a little bit and apologize. Not an easy thing to do, especially when you've dealt with it, when they know you, even they knew you were dealing with something. That doesn't mean it didn't hurt them. And although it might not cure the issue or the hurt and pain, it can definitely help. It can make them feel that you care about them as well. Just like reaching out to those you haven't heard from. Extremely important to do. We got, I view you as all family. Each week we talk, sometimes more than each week. Many of us talk to the side, and we interact pretty consistently, either here in chats or elsewhere, different social medias, or some of us actually kind of know each other really well. That, to me, is more family than anything blood, because if you don't have a family member, even a mother, father, brother, sister, cousin, but you hardly ever talk, technically you're family. But are you going to be there for each other if you hardly talk? No. If your lives have separated in a severe way? All right, I have to go for just a second. There's somebody here. I apologize. I'll be right back, guys. Hold on. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, we had a trespasser I just had to deal with. Yeah, fun. Gotta love it. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to contact the police. I got some video of them trespassing and admitting they walked by the thing, so they'll be charged later. It's like this every spring here. Doesn't matter if you live in the country or not. Sorry about that, guys. I really apologize. Trying to lessen everybody's anxiety, and mine just went up. And I also had to walk a long ways up there and talk to them. So 12 acres of land is a lot of land to cover. So, whew, relax, inner peace. Thank you, guys. I mean, honestly, if it weren't for you, this type of thing would really get to me. It's not going to bother me bad because I have family like here, like in the Discord, that I know is always going to be there when we need each other. And music, yeah, music. Oh, you like the music? Yeah, Derek. I wanted to put out something on so you guys weren't just left with just silence. That'd just be weird. It's weird enough with it. Yeah, actually, thank you, Ian. Hydrate. Yeah, that was quite the little hike because I had to kind of run up the road. Good exercise, though, see? Think of the positives. I just got some exercise. And they know enough not to come again. They'll know even more when the police knocked at their door, like they did last week to someone else. It's been happening a lot. Just call me, call Matt. Yeah, call Matt Sinister. Powerbomb the world. Speaking of, he's actually become a positive person right now. Really, well, not that he hasn't been, but with this exercise thing, he's motivated a lot of people to break out and start exercising again. I have been doing more. I know quite a few people have. He's been getting Nick Green to do push-ups every night and several times during the day. I forgot what that was like. I used to do that when I was in my 20s. Well, no, that's right, 21 now. So, yeah, when I was in my younger 20s, like before I had my many 20s. So, yeah, the exercise, the drop and do push-ups thing every once in a while. It's kind of an amazing thing. We used to also do the same thing with sit-ups if you're sitting in, if you're not like outside and gonna get dirty, obviously. But yeah, motivate you back into shape. And that's saying something, Derek, because they don't look like you're in that bad of shape to begin with, but that's good. Yeah, we have a few people beat up on power bomb. Yeah, you guys just perspective means everything. Look at things in the most positive light you can. Like right now, I know that that was wrong, what they were doing, and I know that they had bad intentions. But I know that it'll be taken care of. I'm going to trust the police to do their job because they've actually been really good. I have never been one for having police around a lot, to be honest with you, but they have done a good job patrolling around here since this has been happening. It's because this place sat empty for a long time. And the property across the road still hasn't been fully repaired, so you get a lot of strange people thinking that they can loot it. You know, steal anything they can. And yeah, Jake, round is a shape. Have you ever tried to make a round mod? Like, you know, like a orb. That'd be interesting. Almost, it's kind of a wasted space, but it'd be kind of interesting as a desk mod. I wonder if that could be done. Has anybody ever seen one? Like a round one? Make a power bomb. Make a bomb-looking mod. That'd be a great idea. I have a feeling Addy could even do that. So, there's a good question. I need a vape. I'm going to do have a vape tonight. I have a couple of vapes. So, what is everybody else vaping on tonight? That's the last of the Blueberry Hill in the in there. And then I got some of Tom Liefeld's liquid in here. I got this lemon berry iced. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but that this actually is more like a what he has in here. It tastes more like a lemon gum, bubble gum, with a little bit of lemon minty bubble gum, with a little bit of hint of berry. I kind of really like it. not normally my profile. Oh, the Pokemon mods. Yeah, those weird looking things. That's right. So, Jake, I haven't seen any updates the last few days on your thing. Has there been any that I missed because of my brother being around? Dragon drops cheesecake and a Claymore and usual grape soda and the other Claymore. Now that sounds really good, Ian. It really does. Tasty strawberry lemonade gummy. Yeah, that's kind of that is kind of what it is. It tastes more like a gum than actually a lemonade. It's got a lemonade kick to it, but it's different. Neapolitan ice cream ish. Nice. 22 twisted messed RDA, twisted frame stapled butter tart. Yeah, twisted frame staples. If anybody hasn't seen, Addy doesn't post these much anymore, but he really should. I think he went by the wayside because he's done so many in the past, if you look back through his Instagram photos. But he can make some pretty damn awesome coil builds. Something more than I really realized he ever did. Had to take it back to Bear. The ebony wood is killing my Dremel bits. Oh, that stinks. That stinks a lot. See that? Oh, so this ebony wood is a harder concentration too. I've never actually dealt with it before. See, that's something someone else might be able to learn here too if they're ever working with wood. Ebony wood apparently is really hard and a little tough on bits. See, it's something we can learn on a regular basis. Oh, Adam. There's a guy, if you want a little bit of music and you like, I would consider him pretty upbeat music, check out Adam and his band, because yeah, it's pretty fun to watch. Is in his own, not when he does his covers and stuff he does for things like the Turtles cover and a couple others. It's just, I don't know, I love it. To me, it's, anybody else have this feeling when they see someone doing, when it's live, or it's someone you know doing something like that, making music, you know, drawing art, creating mods, creating even modifying mods like Addy. When you see people that you know and you care about doing it, does it give you guys the warmth inside it does to me? Like Ashton with his coding. When I see these things and I see them and I know these people, it's not the same as if, okay, I picked this up. Yay. All right. I got this ugly piece. Okay. It's just my banging. It's literally my banging around whatever mod. But that means nothing. Really doesn't. This means nothing other than the fact that it means to an end. Whereas you see things like, you don't have to have them, just see them. See Jake creating some of his masterpieces. When you get to see him almost every week, you get to see Jake's Imperial mod he did for Nick Green. Just, I don't know, that does something. It's something that you just want to like shout to the world. You want to like climb up and say, hey, my buddy did this. I love it. There's Adam's band. Eddie and ours. I thought it was Eddie. Oh, it is the Arsons. Okay, it looks Earsons the way it broke up on there on my chat. All right, Eddie and the Arsons. Yeah. It's upbeat music. I wasn't what I expected, to be honest with you. When you first look at Adam, you expect him to be like, I expected a different style of music, and I really like it. It's really happy. Yeah, you see, you can ship some functional art, and I'm sorry, Jake, but what you make is art. Once you change something to make it unique, even what Addy does to like his K funds and all the other things he works on, it becomes art. Coil, I'm sorry, but it's art. It takes an art to be able to make even an alien. I mean, it's low level art in comparison, but you can make a Clapton's, and they're actually, they still vape pretty damn good. Yes, I am drooling over Jake's stab wood again. Sorry, it's just like that's the one thing I eventually got to get. Never got myself a stab wood mod. I've talked about it a few times. I thought about it, and like remember, I think it was Asmodus used to have all the stab wood mods. I thought about getting one of them, and then just never did. I mean, for one thing, I'd be afraid it'll be at home only. I'd never want to take it anywhere. I'd be afraid of hurting it because it would be a prized possession. And that's actually one of the reasons why I couldn't bring myself to spend that much money on something I'll probably seldom use outside of the coffee table. Before, at the time too, when I was thinking about doing that, I wasn't on YouTube, so I wasn't ever sitting at a desk. I was always out on the go doing something. Yeah, they are. Jake's mods are absolutely gorgeous. Well, you want more gorgeous is look at the heat treat that Addy has done on things. Think about that. Like that heat treat. And I've never seen him do this, but I know that Nick has an Addy Tooney K-Fun that's heat treated. And I know he has that Stabwood mod. And I would be curious to see how they'd look together. I know it'd be a little skinny because that's a pretty good size mod. But the coloring, I mean, that heat treat with that blue, it just sounds like it might be really nice together. Call dibs on the colors. Not even close to done. Only in my dreams. You guys are awesome. And please celebrate, like I said last week, celebrate the creativity in the community. Celebrate that. Celebrate the life of the people that you've lost. Celebrate the life of the people you have. Don't take for granted the time you have with the people that you care about, whether it be a part of this community or a part of your actual family. If you have children, spend extra time with them. Later on, they're going to grow up and they're going to wind up going on their own path anyways. Hopefully, you can instill in them the same thing of them coming to spend time with you for the same reason. Because life is short regardless of, it could, yeah, maybe you'll live 90 years, 100 years. It's possible. But what quality of life is it if you've kind of just walked through life only focusing on what you need to do and don't stop and like smell the roses, so to speak, and spend time with the people that you care about, because nothing matters more than the hearts that are shared, the feelings that are shared. Eric's working on a new blueberry? What? Wait, who did this come from? I missed this.
That's what Abby said.
Oh. Eric's got a new blueberry. Yeah, I'm interested. Because, yeah, that's not a bad blueberry. So, that's a creativity too. And not only that, but Eric is a great father who spends a lot of time with his kid. And that, to me, means more to me than anything else he does, even though that's pretty freaking amazing too. Blueberry Hill might be new to me anyway. It was new to me until recently, Eddie. There is like a cinnamon or nutmeg to it that I didn't think I liked at first, but it's one of those things that grows on you. It's like, it's there and it's like, I'm not sure if I like this. And then the more you vape it, you just, I don't want to put this down. That's what happens. I know that it's amazing how you think you're not sure about a liquid and then it becomes like your go-to somehow. And there's also sometimes when you think, oh my God, this is amazing. You get through like 2 tanks full of it, or maybe you get a bottle up through the bottle, you're still loving it. And then you buy 3 bottles to make sure you don't run out. And then by the second bottle, you're like, I'm over it. Yeah, that's what sucks. I've done that before. I've done that a few times, actually. Thought I loved a liquid. It just went. Yeah, that's the other thing. We talked about this on Mixing It Up this week. I was on with the guys. And I don't go high on my flavorings or my sweetener. And I don't need to. I love it like that, which surprised me because I always thought I really loved the punch flavor in your face. But I feel like I'm still getting that punch of flavor, yet it's not, I'm not going high. I seldom go over like 7, 8% ever. We tried a liquid, the ambrosia tea. The We tried a one shot of that at like 14%. Way too strong for us. And now we dropped it down to 5.5%, and Lady Liberty loves it right there. So that tells me our taste buds have changed. DIY can kind of ruin you for commercial juices in some ways, unless it's created by another DIY person, which Eric's was. You have Tom's are all DIY. You have Mitch. You have Sifu. You have Clown. I mean, pretty much everybody in the mixing world here. There's just, the list goes on and on. I'm going through the Mixing It Up crew because that's just on there. You got Overdrip. But like Overdrip just started his own actual line, but he created that as a DIYer, and then it became a thing. Those to me are like think about it, the diamond in the rough. The creations they're created out of an artistic thought process of using their palettes. I mean, it is a form of art to create these, because some of the flavorings don't taste like what the flavorings say they are. Like, it's amazing how you can put things together, and like that Almond's Joy. Okay. I got to work on the chocolate in it a little bit. And yeah, it's in a Georgie bottle. I had to mix it up quick, and I needed something that was chocolate, but washed it really good. But the Almond's Joy in it, that it's pralines in it, flavor of praline. Now that's not technically always an almond. It can be, depending on where you're at, they're different, but it tasted like almond to me, so I went with it. And I have to dial down the chocolate. So if you do download that, I would recommend you dial down the chocolate. The chocolates are right, but I think the VSO chocolate's a little too high because it's stronger than I thought. I hadn't used it before. There you go. If you want to check out Overdrip's liquid. And he's got another one he's working on. It sounds like they're going to get a lemon custard here coming up pretty quick. Sounds pretty good to me. I want to try that pear. It's like pear pastry or croissant or something. And then he's got the strawberry custard that I want to try really bad. So, yeah. Oh, you like the taste of MREs? You know what? Some of them aren't terrible if you get used to them. I mean, I remember I used to eat a lot of MREs and they didn't bother me, but now I've tried to eat them not that long ago and not so much anymore. They tear my stomach up too. 3 to 5 because of, yeah, see, 3 to 5 are DIY. 2 they're commercial and pots. Yes. Has anyone else had that happen? That is something that's not been brought up. The DIY liquids, yes, open systems, whatever, and your things. But has anyone else found themselves that once they really get into DIY, the only way they really like commercial liquids is like in a pod where you get a little less of it, almost like you're dialing back that flavor to where it would normally be if you're DIYing. And that's another thing, Jake. Yes, I am going to try. You know, I swore up and down I was never going to try another tobacco in my life. Gonna try it. Next time I order, I'm gonna make sure I get the flavorings. I'm gonna try your version of tobacco, because maybe, you know, I didn't think I would like a boozy vape because I've tried a few and I didn't really care for any of them. And then Larry Mandalorian, he actually got me to taste test with him, and like a collab taste test situation with him on his attempt at Jack Daniels. Bless you.
Thank you.
And it actually turned out to be more like a Jim Beam, but it's really spot on. And I've used that in several recipes now, and I love it. I didn't expect it. I would not vape that in a car because it's so authentic tasting and smelling. I have a feeling I'd wind up getting a breathalyzer if I tried to do that in a car. It's kind of messed up. because we had a new bourbon flavor that came out, and that bourbon added with a couple of the others, it created it. I mean, that's the other thing. As new recipes come out, I mean, new flavors come out, we're getting more fine-tuned recipes. Think back just a few years ago. Just a few years ago, we had almost every lemonade in the commercial market had that waxy aftertaste. I just had this discussion with Tom earlier today. They all had that waxy aftertaste. After you might be able to get through a tank before it really started to coat on your tongue, and then you could taste it. And then came out with some of these new lemons. Like, honestly, my favorite lemon, straight up lemon, is Swaggy's VSO. They're so crisp and clean, and they don't give you that layered up waxy taste to your mouth after a while, which always made it so I wouldn't go back to that. And I'd get through like maybe a half a bottle, and then it would sit for 6 months. And then the next time I might get a quarter of a bottle, and then it just took forever. Yeah, Larry's got me hooked, Adam. Honestly, I'm going to be getting more boozy and alcohol flavored vapes. Thanks a lot, Larry. I really needed another rabbit hole. It's kind of like, Adam, once I finally try some of your strawberry recipes, I have a feeling that'll be the same thing. I'll be getting more strawberries.
Yeah.
I like strawberry.
Yeah.
So you're over there, yuck. Yeah. Commercial juices, I'm just, and maybe part of that's psychological. Maybe in the back of my mind, because I know this is coming from someone I care about, and I know maybe somehow that's translating to liking it more, but I don't think so, because I'm my own worst critic. So when I try some of my liquids, I'm expecting them to taste like crap, and they honestly don't. And that is thanks to learning things from these other people. Addie. And because of Addie, I got more, Addie and John, I got more into the Fresho 3 group a little bit more, and Addie because of that with DeMillan and Wendy. And mixing it up, obviously, Clown, and that just happened. Being involved with all these people. And learning things, constantly writing notes down, learning things on a daily basis in a DIY community. If you pay attention, you don't have to worry about the apocalypse shelf of terrible juices. My worst juice, I could vape. I think I have one that I made that I'm still waiting to hope it steeps out, but it still has that NyQuil flavor, but I think it's just the specific flavoring I put in it. I think if I had subbed that out for a different similar flavoring, it would be better. You know, sometimes you can't tell what they're going to taste like until you try it. I should one-shot them all, but that's a lot of one-shots. I think I'm the only one that doesn't use ELR for my recipes. Well, I honestly, probably wouldn't have, but Addie told me I had to. It was Addie. I says you should get on ELR, and I did that very same day. It was the day before I went on the we were talking and in a chat or maybe a Discord something, and he mentioned it right before I went on mixing it up for the first time and told me I should get on ELR. So I did make the ELR. So that first recipe, and the first recipe I did was a chocolate, and it worked. It is really good. We don't vape it because I'm not into chocolate donuts that much, and it tastes too authentic for her to like it. It tastes like a Dunkin' Donut chocolate frosted donut. You can check it out on there. It actually says chocolate caramel, but the caramel didn't come through. It kind of blended with the chocolate to make it more authentic, like frosting. So, yeah, see, single flavor testing in a while, and I've been doing that's where you get the ones, Adam, that sometimes you put together and it's like, damn it, I shouldn't have used that flavor in it. And it's that one flavor that kind of threw it off. You know that all the other notes are there, right? But that one flavor can be like, go a little sideways on you. I mean, I'm one of those people that just likes to go for it. So And I have 100. I don't know how people do, like, I would love to know the actual number of times, and I know he can't even really answer it. Fresh, how many one shots has he done over the years? Oh, Tabitha, if you enjoy them, go for it. If you enjoy for anyone watching, even on replay, if you enjoy the flavor of a disposable or a pod, if it's keeping you from, a more dangerous alternative that's likely to cause you health issues or death, go for it. I mean, as long as it works, it's all good. Yeah, collecting flavors and that's something we need to do is prepare. And Tabitha, always keep an eye out and talk to these people and let them so you can collect the right flavors that might fit your profile, but also the better ones. Because there is a difference. You can't just pick up any cream. Not any cream works. They're not all the same. You can't pick up any lemon or lemonade. You can't pick up any blueberry or, there's just so many that are just off. Aegis Solo with the Wasp Nano. I have heard good things about the Solo, but I've never used one. I've never had, we almost got Solos, actually, but we wound up getting the Lost Vape Gruss instead. That was the last mod we got. We almost picked up a couple Solos because they were on sale, but the Lost Vape was the same price or within $1 or two. I think it actually might have been cheaper on sale, but it's a Lost Vape, so I kind of like my Lost Vapes. Although I will admit to heavy, I don't know how the Solo is. I imagine that's pretty heavy mod too. But the Solo is also pretty indestructible, which is a big plus. Watch a lot of Noted. Yeah, Derek, if you like a good tobacco flavor, if you haven't tried it, I'm pretty sure Jake's is pretty damn good from what I'm hearing. I really haven't heard anyone who can even tolerate a tobacco flavor that hasn't loved it. So I think he nailed something there. He might be the person to talk to. The gear. I haven't seen that in a while. Is it you got the gear, or isn't there a gear RTA too, isn't there? Which one do you have? Probably the regular gear, I'm guessing. Dripper. I think I might have even seen pictures of it, maybe. I'm not sure. I remember seeing a picture of a gear a little while back. But I haven't seen anybody locally have one of those in a while, but we don't get out as much as we used to either, so. Yeah, the recipes, they keep getting better every day, Tabitha. Keep looking at the newer ones. If you do have a specific profile in mind, keep an eye out, because as these new flavors come up, like the new Wonder flavors have changed the game. They really have. Even I have to admit it. Like, I did not expect that watermelon sour candy to be as good as it is. And by the way, yes, you can do what I did the other day on mixing it up and overcomplicate it a little bit and make it more of like a fruity candy. But you pretty much you could one-shot that with a little tiny bit of super sweet and you'd be happy as a clam. And if you like Jolly Rancher candy, it's there. It's really, really, really good. It's a dainty one. Yeah. Speaking of dainty, I have to hop over there this week, but I'm going to try and pick up some more of these for Fresh. He wanted a couple of them. I'm pretty sure they had a few of them left over at one of the more local vape shops. Oh, dog farted, yay. But that is a flavor banger. It is amazing for being such an older device because the chamber is just so small. There's a new one that just came out that looks a lot like it. I just saw it yesterday on my Instagram feed. There's another one that looks a lot like the Derringer. I can't say who it's from. I think it started with an A. It wasn't Asmodus, was it? I can't remember. But it looked like the Derringer. It's a little flat one. And I sadly do not have... The Derringer someplace around here. probably sitting on a mod in a box, like needing to be cleaned or something. But that's tiny little thing. It's amazing how much flavor you can get out of something like that. Unfortunately, you drip it, you vape it twice, you got to re-drip. There's no taking 4 or 5 hits. You just can't. There's not enough space in it. And exactly, Eddie. Vaping community is a loving and helpful. Reach out if you're struggling, and reach out to those you think might need a friendly voice. 100%. We need to do that. And if you're a part of the vaping community, don't let it end there. If someone needs a hand and they're not part of the community, maybe that's how you get those people to start to turn, and maybe not. But if you're kind to them, chances are they're more likely to be kind to you. And maybe that can even spread if they start to realize what kind of community this is and how much heart and caring goes into it. And they start to see that, maybe they'll start to think differently of the community. You know, a lot of communities like fight, but they fight in tooth and nail, and they're not. I think that's actually one of our weakest and our strongest points. We do fight, but we fight for the right reasons, and we try to do it in a kind way for the most part. I mean, yes, we get angry when they keep repeating the same thing. Hope is still dealing with her stuff, but she does have a plan. It's one of the better situations going on. I'll let you know as she knows more for sure. It's looking like it's going to be a fairly simple change. So yeah, I'll let you know, Addie, as soon as I find out more. She did call me today and we talked for a little bit, but she's still feeling a little under the weather. So she's going to probably be stepping back from social media for a little bit. So if anybody's worried about Hope, she will be back, but she's not feeling 100%. She's been a little bit down lately. But keep her in her thoughts and prayers, and it's all we can do right now. She's getting treatment for what she needs, and it looks like it might not be as bad as she had feared. She had some pretty scary thoughts that could happen, but it turns out they're not true, at least not at this point, so that's good. Yeah, I mean, if you guys haven't noticed, I do check on a lot of people on a consistent basis. Some of you know because you've been the person I've checked on. Just called Maynard. Yeah, I have an Uncle Maynard, and my grandfather's name is Maynard. So, yeah. Wait a minute. You're not in New York, are you? There's a Maynard, New York. Town called Maynard, New York. Keep an eye out. Watch in chats. See if people are there. And if someone's missing for a little while, if you notice it, reach out to them and just ask, are you doing okay? Hey, can I help? Most of the time, even if they take the olive branch and reach back out to you, you're not going to have to do much. A lot of times it's just thank you, and they might explain the situation just to get it off their chest, and that can make a huge difference in the amount of stress and anxiety they're dealing with and holding in. Getting people to open up. Yes. Wakanda. Where is Nebraska? Okay, because Wakanda. Isn't there a Wakanda in New York there with the others too, Addie? On the other, it wouldn't be on your side of the state though. I'm thinking near Herkimer. I don't know. Just thinking, or maybe it's a street name. Sorry, now I'm doing geography in my head. Yeah, and Misfits are on tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. Today's Thursday. Sorry, that whole thing threw my days off. Misfits are on Sunday afternoons. I think the time just changed. Hey, Derek. Wakanda's also is the town city that has all the cool stuff that's going on behind the scenes there in one of the movies called Black Panther.
Really?
I got picked on for that. Yeah, tune in if you can to Nick Tonight, Grim Green, and check him out because I know he's going to do an advocacy segment as usual. And, you know, they do a lot of things. If you didn't catch it yesterday, watch it on replay on Poon Sauce McNasty's channel. He has, him and Logan did another episode yesterday, the bi-weekly of the advocacy. Go check that out, because see where we stand on some things. I mean, I need to do a few updates myself. My brother being around a lot, I'm a little behind on some of the things going on. I have heard some rumors, but I'll try to get a little bit of that information out on Saturday. Yeah, see, spelling, I'm the same way, Derek. There's different spellings. I think sometimes in that case, the spellings change because they're not even really sure how the proper spelling is supposed to be. That said, like I said, try to look at things from a different perspective. Try to keep the positive aspects and memories alive. If you're going through a grieving process, please try to focus on the positive memories. It won't get rid of the memories that maybe like the last days, last moments, but it can definitely lessen the pain of them. And eventually you train yourself to think of the positives more, and that hurts a little less, and it doesn't feel quite so hard. And like I said, also focus on the details as best you can, and remember those details, because the more vivid it is in your mind, the more positive an experience you have. Oh, they nixed it. Okay, I guess. Sorry, guys. I knew it was Logan's birthday too. Okay, so there wasn't one this week. So tune in next week, hopefully, on the Toon Sauce McNasty's channel. If not, Logan does do the podcast with Alex from Casa on Sundays. I'm not sure if that's every week or every other week either. But, and yeah, thank you, Addie. It's important to stay on top of things. Federal, we know where we're at. At least we know what we're dealing with. We just don't know how it's going to turn out or how they're going to implement it. But we know what's going on. But you got to watch your state and local, because that can be even worse. And they typically go overboard on trying to mimic what's going on, and they misinterpret and make things even worse. Keep your right to harm reduction free, and keep your right to happier, healthier space in your mind better by, keeping track of things going on around you. I know it's a lot of work. That's why it's nice to have people that are actually doing more of it, like Alex, Logan, and Poon Sauce doing this constantly. And on Tuesdays, the Tuesday Bro News Day with Danielle and Nick. These are good places to go to catch up on some of it, at least once in a while, to be updated. That way you're not left behind and don't realize what's going on around you. Oh, thanks, Jake. Hoping for you. Really am. Can't wait until you get it. All right. You guys have a good night. I hope to see some of you in Grim Green's chat. And thank you all. Love you all. Addie, like I said, I know I said that a few times tonight, but be more like Addie. And can you think of a nicer person? Anybody? Good luck. Love you all.